you're about to embark on another, tour and all the things that come with making music and reaching your fans. But leave the city could take you anywhere, right? I mean,
Yeah.
do you even...
What's next?
We have a very special guest with us. What's this idea about this dragon thing? I mean,
kind of dark. Pilots, there's only two guys in this game. Hiding, where are you? Come here, you little moron, you.
So you have these new songs. You have a song that you're gonna sing for us today?
Oh, yes, wait. I got this. Ready? Can you please play stressed out? Because two reasons. One, I am always stressed out because I work with this guy. And secondly,
On the last record, on Trench, I got caught up in the idea of trying to reinvent a wheel when it comes to song structure and different approaches in the songwriting style and the lyrics and how abstract I could get. And I enjoyed stretching myself in that way. On this record, I really wanted to bring it back to the craft of songwriting, to stay within the parameters. I view it as a picture frame. You know, what can I put into that picture frame? What kind of painting can I do? Dealing with any monumental moment in your life, my default is to try to experience it and corral it in a way where I'm in control, not where the outside force is forcing me to react to whatever it wants to do to me. And one of the ways I feel like I'm in control is when I'm writing the story.
And here we are, a lot of us under the assumption that the optimism is propaganda.
How do you follow up a masterpiece? A question posed by every artist, no matter what their medium. How do you follow up on what is considered to be the greatest of its genre? Well, you follow up on The Hobbit by spending 10 plus years writing the greatest fantasy trilogy of all time, if you're J.R.R. Tolkien. You follow up on Spirited Away with Howl's Moving Castle and cause the sexual awakening for a generation of young girls, if you're Hayao Miyazaki.
That fucker don't miss.
And you follow up to Pimp a Butterfly with Damn, if you're Kendrick Lamar. But still, there's this pressure to not only meet expectations but surpass them, especially in the world of music. And 21 Pilots did this already. They followed up Blurry Face, a Grammy Award-winning record, with one of the greatest concept albums ever made, Trench. But now, they have another problem. Because they're not just releasing a follow-up album, the story of Trench was not over by the time Leave the City finished. So now, they have to make a sequel.
Could take you anywhere, right? I mean,
Yeah.
do you even...
What's next?
What's next, and is it even music?
We'll see if this works, by the way. You're pitting this idea of a concept and the story. It's very thought out, and there's a bunch of time spent in between release, and I don't even know if this is gonna work in the day of streaming and getting a single out every chance you can.
Sequels are hard. It doesn't matter what you're making. A movie, a book, a video game, just ask any of these guys. But a good sequel always expands on the lore of the world and the story. It dives deeper into the psychology of the characters and even introduces new ones. Now, it's hard enough to do this in a visual medium, so how do you do it in a concept album? Do you play it safe like a J.J. Abrams? Do you sanitize your work so much that no one is offended, but no one's really intrigued or even satiated?
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Or do you pull a Rian Johnson and make something new, something that challenges the tropes of your genre, something that's definitely going to piss some people off, but some people might like it? Well, if you're Tyler and Josh, you make Scaled and Icy. I don't really think it's a controversial opinion to say that Scaled and Icy is the last Jedi of the 21 Pilots canon. A massive 180 from the rock-inspired dark sounds of Trench, Psy is bright, colorful, saccharine, and it caught critics and the clique completely off guard, especially after one of the worst years we've ever experienced in the 21st century. So far, 2020 left everyone feeling isolated, paranoid, and angry. And they expected the 2021 follow-up to Trench to basically just be Trench Part 2. They were definitely not expecting a shallow-sounding pop record full of feel-good songs tailor-made for the radio.
I think as we were working on this album, going back to the conversation of, brighter and poppier sounding, Tyler and I had a conversation about how it kind of, a lot of this album to me is reminiscent of some of our older stuff. I've seen a lot of people kind of making that note that it's brighter sounding, and I do think that it is, but I wonder if that is in kind of direct comparison with our last album, Trench.
The singles Shy Away, Choker, and Saturday had echoes of the synth pop sounds of Vessel and the album To Not Be Named, but they were entirely new enough to put off a number of fans. Why no one expected the same people who made Vessel to create another album that sounds poppy, fun, happy, and yet has serious dark undertones if you listen to the words? Why no one thought they would do that again, I don't really know. Except this is the biggest trick the album pulls. As you will learn with Psy, nothing is as it seems, and no song better illustrates this than the album's opener.
How did you know this was going to be the first song then? What made it so?
It was so different than every other first song that I've ever done. I've kind of developed this formula for how live shows should feel, and I think that because the live experience is so tied to the creation process of the record, and this was a completely different first. This is like I wanted it to feel like I was turning lights on. It just was reminiscent of how maybe some older concerts would have started, rather than what we do today with the big scrim that falls down and the low rumble, and a little more walk out on stage, turn the lights on, and smile.
While every album before and after Psy has started with a bang, this one starts in a much more saturated place.
And so is that the saturation that you refer to some degree in the opening line, which is always a very important moment on any album?
Well, I knew that this record was going to be very colorful, and so the idea of saturation was one that I was going to compensate for in the branding. I was going to make it very colorful. We're going to have just a flow of different colors coming in, and the branding was going to be very bright and exciting.
Good Day's poppy, playful piano and upbeat melodies sound much more akin to an Elton John number than Our Boys. But the sounds of switches flipping, turning on digital birdsong, the saturation, it all tells us that this is a farce. There's something much darker at play here, and the first line confirms this.
I can feel my saturation leaving me slowly. Broke the news on mom's vacation. Oh, but you know me.
And then lyrically talking about desaturation, this song is about getting to a place where if I were to lose everything, if I lost my wife and my kid, how would I in the first week react to that?
Lost my job, my wife and child. Homie just sued me.
And I think that what I would be is overly positive, like it's fine, there's a reason for everything, I'm okay. And it was a really dark place to go. And the fact that this song is, that's what it's talking about, is trying to wrestle with, you know, in the lyric to the chorus is talking about how, would you say you depend on the weather? Because my sunshine is a buzz and a light. I'll be singing out. I know it's hard to believe me.
Now, fans of the lore were confused as shit by this song. The intros to Psy and Trench are night and day. Pun intended. Where's the lore? Where's Clan? The answer, dear viewer, is all the way back on the cover art for a song called Christmas Saves the Year. The reason Psy felt insincere is because it is. Everything from the music to the live stream to the photo shoots, it's all fake. It's the Truman Show. And Tyler is Jim Carrey. Stuck in his own personal hell of writing and performing songs under the control of the bishops, propaganda meant to quell the stirs of rebellion within Dima, and even possibly turn the citizens against Tyler.
I would imagine that there is a spectrum of grief. People talk about the stages of grief. And I would imagine that one of those stages would feel a little bit like this song, where you're just convincing yourself, you're talking to someone
Absolute
purely
denial.
in
No.
It's a good day.
I don't bother anyone. Nervous when I stand. Choking on the circumstance. Only smoking secondhand. Let us open, spread us out. Dry us in the sand. Lay the fiber side by side and you'll begin to understand. I know it's over. I was born a choker. Nobody's coming for me. Coming for me.
At this point in the story of Dima, Tyler has been propped up as a willing, but not really, mouthpiece for vialism. But just like real propaganda, its true purpose is to assimilate you into the culture of Dima. Rather than a spin on the new sound from Shy Away, Choker returns to a familiar sound. But this familiarity is nothing but a lure. Much like the bonkers-ass music video, it's a trap.
The song Choker, it was a path that I had taken several times already. Didn't even have to think about it.
I don't bother anyone. Never make the man. Choking on the circumstance. Self-sabotage is a sweet romance.
It had been done, but in a sense that without it seeming like a negative thing. I think as a songwriter, you know you have an arsenal of tools that available to you. And so what you're doing is you're constantly trying to pick a different combination of those tools and trying to push against that pull towards habit. And so then you find a new path and you do it in a new way, in a different way.
Seems like all I'm worth is what I'm able to withstand. Sooner I can realize that pain is just a middleman.
For Choker, I didn't fight it. I leaned into it. And I realized, I learned a very important lesson, that just because it's the same path, just because it seemed familiar and it was easy, there was enough time between the last time I had taken that path that there were things different about it. You know, as time goes on, things change. And so even though I was taking a familiar path, I was a different person.
Tyler, at this point, has been captured by the bishops, but instead of just leaving him as a normal citizen, they've decided to use his influence and voice in Dima against him, and against the Banditos. And the last line of the chorus is a solemn surrender as Tyler gives in and accepts his new role in the story.
Alone, gonna change my circumstance.
I think the timing of when things started happening for us has been pretty incredible. Someone asked me, like, what can I do? I want to get into music. How do I start? And there's so much of just stars aligning that have to do with this thing. It's hard to give them advice.
You had to write Shy Away. I saw the article. You had to write Shy Away because the only way you could really show your brother to some degree about the experience is to go through the process, because words don't add up to experience, and everyone's experience is so unique.
Better not be there with placing bets. You won't. The only thing to leave behind is your old skin on the floor.
No, it's not. I mean, I think he's a super talented guy. My family means the world to me, and I think I realized something that maybe some people start to learn later in their life. But really, the people who will die for you, I mean, that's all that really matters.
Don't you shy away. Manifest the ceiling when you shy away.
You know, like, everything else is just...
Don't circle the track, just break the cycle in half and leave your skin on the floor. Don't you shine.
Josh from the band 21 Pilots shows his best friend Tyler the local Chipotle.
Do you come to this one often?
I don't know, every once in a while.
Oh, hey, Josh.
Hey, Heather.
How's it going? How's Debbie?
She's good, thanks. Welcome to Chipotle.
Dude, I didn't know that you...
Yeah, man, you want white rice?
Yeah, I guess I'll do the white rice.
I'm gonna give you a little bit of extra.
I guess I'll do queso.
Great, let's...
21 Pilots burrito is available now only at Chipotle.
Hey, Josh, you mind locking up?
Yeah.
What day is it today? No, it's Saturday.
Slow down on Monday, not a sound. On Wednesday, might get loud. On Friday, but on Sunday, we paint the town.
Saturday is the most misunderstood song on the album. There, I said it, suck it. Saturday's misunderstood. You didn't understand Saturday. What comes off as a shallow, poppy radio single holds the undertones of paranoia and insecurity that comes as a result of staying isolated and stuck in the same place all the time. Like a cell. Or your own bedroom during quarantine.
Lose my sense of time or two. Weeks feel like this, Medicaid in the afternoon, and I just want to know, have you lost your footing too? I just pray that I'm not losing.
Well, I've always been very grateful of the timing when it comes to my career. Not just, I mean, yes, with the pandemic and you know, I've been asked a few times about, like, man, how unlucky is it that you just started getting going and you were doing shows and and I look at that and then everything gets shut down. And I look at that and go, no, how lucky are we that we got these records out, that we went and grind all over the world and played shows all over the world and sold out arenas, and we got all that in before this new thing that changed and stopped the entire world. And along with, you know, the conversation of timing, I really do think that, like, 21-year-old Tyler was a very different person than 23, 24-year-old Tyler. And I think that for a lot of these young kids who start, you know, seeing some success, it happens to them pretty early. And then you're kind of frozen there.
Life moves slow on the ocean floor. I can't feel the waves anymore. Did the tide forget to move? Just pray that I'm not losing you.
Tyler's trying to keep his sanity, trying to keep his spirits up as he slowly loses touch with the outside world, both within the story and in reality. Now that the bishops have Tyler isolated and losing hope, it's time for indoctrination. Because maybe, if he writes the words enough, he'll start to believe them.
Nothing is missing from this collection. Every song that you remember is included.
The first time I heard these classics, I remember it brought tears to my eyes.
Oh, you know, I just felt trapped.
Sally, we all will feel trapped if we don't get our hands on this magnificent collection. Don't wait another minute. You need to get this collection in your life.
But remember, you should.
I think with Entrench, I look at the record directly following after that rise. What I did was I tried to lump in a little bit more of dealing with that and compensating for that rise than I should have. I was trying to say, this is not a blurry face record. This is different. This is something I'm capable of doing something else. I mean, you would think that I'd be able to look back on it and it is what it is. It's still affecting the decisions I make now because dealing with that type of pressure, I've decided to span it out.
Fame itself can be isolating. A desire to be seen, to be known throughout the world, is the biggest lie we tell ourselves as a society. Because the more you're known, the more you're seen, the more alone you really are.
I'm already bored, pretty sure I've seen this
And that's why when it was happening, I was cool. Nothing, it never bothered me. I was like, this is the way it's supposed to be.
Don't get emotional.
I was born for this, right? But that was my version of dealing with a tiny increment of how crazy it is that that happened to me.
Everybody stand in line, one by one, take a hit, join the club. Kids try to take my vibe. Am I on the outside?
I got that out of my system. And now I think that on this record, Scaled and Icy, I feel like I'm not trying to compensate for that anymore, but I am compensating for Trench. Because it's a constant course correction.
I am a megalodon, oceans feeling like a pond, swimming like a beast underneath, they be clinging on. Meteoric rhymes with prehistoric time, now the meteor is coming. I am Megatron, tides I'm stepping on, and the little cogs got together, start a renaissance. Switch it up on me for fuel efficiency, on fumes I am running.
So that's why this record feels a little brighter, feels a little cleaner. It's the songwriting is a little more, maybe it's a little more traditional.
I'm on the outside in the summer heat. You can pay the cover charge, I'm in the street. Little did they know that they can't touch me. I'm vibing. I'm on the outside in the summer heat. You can pay the cover charge, I'm in the street. Little did they know that they can't touch me. I'm vibing.
Are you tired throughout the day but unable to sleep? Do old hobbies feel like more of a chore? Do you suffer from crippling debt, heartache, or existential dread? Sure, you can make actual changes, but why subject yourself to the discomfort of therapy, medication, or reaching out to others when you can enjoy bliss? Bliss is an alternative once-a-day oral supplement that targets dopamine in the brain, allowing you to feel content and compliant. Bliss has not been approved by the FDA or WHO and should not be taken as an alternative to actual medication or in substitution for counseling. Taking Bliss with other medications may increase or decrease their effects. Many who have taken Bliss reported changes in behavior, including but not limited to aggression or hostility, agoraphobia, scopophobia, apathy, increased or lack of appetite or libido, narcissism, desire to wander through empty spaces or near bridges or large bodies of water, compulsive shopping, drastic and sudden changes to hair length or color, impulsive tattoos, believing they suddenly developed synesthesia, inability to make decisions, especially when eating out, rewatching shows or movies they've already seen. These are all to be expected and should not be concerning. Many other symptoms were reported, including but not limited to fever, diarrhea, nausea, spontaneous vomiting, hair loss, constipation, dissociation, kidney stones, auditory or visual hallucinations, increased thoughts of suicide or suicidal actions, mumps, night terrors, erectile dysfunction, death, increased thoughts of fratricide or fratricidal actions, heart attack, stroke, spontaneous combustion, Lemming syndrome, Stockholm syndrome. Do not take Bliss if you suffer from diabetes, insomnia, parasocial tendencies, or if you have a liver. Why make actual changes when you can enjoy Bliss? Now available on Mulberry Street.
Did you feel prepared to become a father? Was it something that when you became a dad, that those instincts came naturally to you? Or did you have to spend some time working on yourself in order to play the best possible role in your children's future?
I'm a father of one. She's a little over 1 year old. And one of the first things you have to do is you have to name that kid. No, where's Rosie's eyes? And what I mean by that is, I knew I wanted to name my daughter Rosie. And just that being the number one decisions I have to make as a father, I was so worked up about, did I name her right? And then she was born, and something clicked where it was like, oh, that's Rosie.
You are formidable to me. You seem to know it where you wanna go. You're my Rosie Rose. She's holding a horsey, and of course she's my favorite in the world. Where's Rosie's nose? Where's Rosie's nose?
There's Rosie's nose. I gotta go. Daddy's working. As a parent, I've been thinking about being a parent for a long time. You know, I've been thinking about how I want to tell her I think she's pretty. You know, I took a video of her. She's starting to walk around, and she walked up to me and she said something, and I'm videoing on my phone, you know, and play the video for her. You can see her connect, like, that's me. And she's looking at it, she's very excited about it, but then this weird, like, concern looks, you know, is on her face. And all of a sudden it hit me like one day, she might not like what she looks like. And I'm gonna have to help her realize that she's beautiful and she's amazing. And I wanna start that now, even when she's 1 year old. Perfect. Guys, thank you. This is an amazing moment. She has no idea what it is that I do for a living. And to be able to get up here right now and show her, be able to show her some of the video when she gets older. Guys, thank you so much for coming to the show. It's so good to be here.
And that, in fact, if we want to lean into the world that 21 Pilots as a creative unit occupy, which you cultivate with real care and dedication, that this album is a reaction to Trench because Trench cut too close to the bone of what's really going on. And so therefore, the good people at Dima have decided if you really want to see this through and you want us to keep your family safe, you better give us something chirpy here. And that's the zigzag. That's the compensation, because the truth did not set you free in the end. It actually made it harder for you.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Keep your place. There's nothing wrong with this now.
What is Mulberry Street about?
I felt like, you know, us getting signed and being, you know, the success we had, as much as we worked hard for it and we were prepared and we really worked hard to be in that position, you can't deny the fact that it also fell out of the sky. If we were to recreate what we did to, you know, our journey to get to where we are now, there's no saying that it would work again. The idea of the music itself kind of just like happened, and the trajectory and, you know, getting signed and going to New York City for the first time and, you know, having real Italian, you know, from Little Italy, and, you know, that street and that crossroads there, it's like it all kind of just made sense to marry the two things.
Okay, but like, what is it really about? Now, this song was actually the most confusing for me when the album came out. There are multiple references throughout the live stream and the concert visuals to Mulberry Street being an actual place in the city of Dima. But a place for what? Well, Dan Liston, aka the Bishop Liston, says that Mulberry Street is his favorite song on the album. Liston's name comes from the song Polarize, the line, "All I feel is tonight, 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 yo." Now this is gonna get weirder than it already is, but if anyone's read the book 1984 by George Orwell, it is so blatantly obvious that when the boys were drafting and creating the world of Dima, they took heavy influence from the book 1984 by George Orwell. Spoilers for a book that everyone has to read in high school at some point. But Winston, the main character, is arrested for rebellious thinking and sent to the Ministry of Justice, where he is tortured and re-indoctrinated into the party's thinking. The party being the people who control society in 1984. Sounds familiar? There, he is tortured and brainwashed into only believing what the party says to be true and denying everything else. In the end, the party would announce that 2 and 2 made 5, and you would have to believe it. It was inevitable that they should make that claim sooner or later. The logic of their position demanded it. Not merely the validity of experience, but the very existence of external reality was tactilely denied by their philosophy. If mental illness is your brain denying reality, and Dima represents mental illness, then this has led some fans to believe that Mulberry Street is a place you go to in Dima to be indoctrinated into vialism.
You can have the weekends, we will live between them. Keep your bills, save your breath, and don't ever forget. Do you know it?
Think Lake Laogai from the Avatar: The Last Airbender. There is no war in Ba Sing Se. 2 + 2 is 5, if the party deems it so. And there is no escape from Dima.
You should bounce, 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 man. Come to the house, man. I'll let my old lady know. You'll be in and out, man. Don't you a couple bands, then you have to
Possibly the weirdest song on the album, and the hardest one to decipher its place in the narrative of Psy, is Bounce Man. Except that I know what it is and it's not that hard. It's really not that hard. What trips people up is thinking that this song is from the perspective of Tyler, when in fact, this song is from the perspective of Josh, aka the Torchbearer. Josh constantly appears in Psy music videos and the livestream, but as we've seen from the Trench trilogy, Josh is an enemy of Dima. So why is he here, and why is the only person acknowledging him Tyler? Because Josh isn't actually here. Real Josh, the Torchbearer, isn't in Dima. He knows Tyler's been taken, and Bounce Man is him telling Tyler to escape.
in my wide eye, saw your face on the nightly news. Oh boy, what you do don't matter now. You need a piece, I'll break it down.
But it's not that simple anymore. This song is about friendship and what we're willing to go through for each other.
Yeah, I told you all along, running away don't make you wrong. Before you bounce, 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 man, come to the house, man, we'll sing one more song. So long.
204863. Frío como el mármol. Перед меня опустили сонную сову. Ще що ти сонну, піаністи.
Now that you've heard some of this collection, you must be just like us.
Yes.
Completely saturated.
Sometimes I close my eyes to try to escape.
You know you can't escape, Sally.
Yes, I know.
Listen, we've come for you. We got people on the way.
You know, I always try to preface with saying I'm not a professional, and I can just speak from what I've experienced and what I've seen, what I've gone through. I think we need to acknowledge the fact that people struggle with these issues, and we need to tell them, I get it. Like, I know you can hurt yourself. I know that's an option. I'm talking to the kids that I've already had conversations with, either at a show or even online. I've had conversations with these kids, and I wanted to tell them that it's worth it to just keep going. And it sounds really cliche and kind of, I don't know. I mean it. I mean, I really mean it when I sit here and tell you that.
and the whistle scaled back like an isolated track, and he feels trapped when he's not inebriated. Fair to say he's fairly sedated. Most days of the week he might have made it if he lived on a different street. I repeat, scaled back and isolated. He says he likes an open schedule, but he mostly hates it. If you run into his room, take a breath before you break and put your ear up to the door. Tell me, can you hear him say it? I wanna go like this. At least let me clean my room. I don't wanna leave like this, 'cause the last thing I want to do is make my people make decisions, wondering what to do. Or should I keep it on display or redecorate? I know it's over. I was born a choker. Nobody's coming for me. Coming for me.
What's up, what's up, what's up? You guys want to hear about my balls? our moms did not like that last video.
Oh, nice to greet you. Let me see it if you're loving you some Josh Dunn. Let me hear you if you're loving you some Josh Dunn.
All the way down.
Lucky mask kiss.
I'm fine. Everything's fine.
So winners of Alternative Rock Song of the Year, it's 21 Pilots.
I'm just gonna stick it.
Dude, I'm just gonna. You said I'm just gonna like. You're like about to turn it all off and be serious, and you went from an orange to an alien. And you went from an orange to an alien as you were like talking seriously. Like, all right, let's be serious here.
All right, I've had enough of this.